What's the topics again?
Okay, so
new game mode.
yeah, so our main topic is the road ahead that came out. Is it last week? I think it was last
What,
week.
the new game mode?
Yeah, where they're talking about the new game mode, and I kind of want to just talk about the road ahead itself, and then obviously the new game mode that they talk about in it, because it feels like the road ahead has been just sort of, I don't know, really marginalized. I'm pretty sure the old ones used to say stuff where they would talk about like different things in the game, whereas it feels like the last several road aheads have just been there is this one thing and nothing else.
Oh no, they're getting rid of Galactic from Galactic War.
There's already too much galactic in
War.
this game.
I think I might cry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised they haven't renamed the game to Star Wars Galactic of Heroes.
Galactic Jawa Scavenger.
There's a galactic everything, but it's kind of good that they're dropping that. So yeah, it kind of feels like the road aheads are kind of missing things. I think we had a previous one before where they were banging on about, like, you remember when they were doing relics and they were just banging on about relic abilities, which obviously hasn't happened. Which I kind of feel is a good thing for this game because the relics are already ridiculously powerful. Yeah, the last thing you want is Malak having like even more abilities.
Or even worse, Grandmaster Yoda finally getting a unique.
Wait, doesn't he have a unique? I thought he had a unique.
He has not gotten unique. He has a lead and like 4 different active abilities.
Battle meditation one? No, it's not, is it?
No, that's Bastila. Oh no, you're right, Davvo. I'm just looking at Grandmaster right now. He has 5 abilities. One of them's a leader, and 4 of them are attacks.
And one of them's called battle meditation. So...
Oh yeah, he does have one called battle meditation, but he doesn't actually have battle meditation. Which is weird because it's called that. But
look at him, he's so cute.
Yeah, I hope if they do release relic abilities, they don't lock it behind an unbeatable game mode.
Oh no, it will
like
be beatable,
Relic
but it will be like you need relic 10. Have you played?
I found with the new Galactic Challenge, Imperial Troopers just like dunk all over it, but you're just not getting any of the challenges with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you see they're making, instead of every other Galactic Challenge being a Beskar Mando feat, now it's just a Mandalorian faction feat.
Which is ridiculous because that's basically a Beskar Mando feat.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, the one that's out at the moment is like, do you have the armor at a gear level so that she doesn't explode before she can do stuff? It's really difficult to get that. I had to use Hermit Yoda as my 5th because any character I put in there would either die or just annihilate everybody. So I was using using Hermit Yoda, and I had just Jango Fett left at the end, and I kept having to have him like do attacks or target people who I knew would regenerate health and just try and spread it around so that he wouldn't kill everybody.
Yeah.
Really, really bad feat. Or challenge, or whatever it's called. But you know that one's going to come back.
Imagine what will happen when they pit us against like an actual team. Because let's face it, the droids are not a good faction without like General Grievous's separatist stuff.
I don't know.
Imagine what will happen when they pit us against the Empire and stuff. Like that will be real challenge.
But they kind of just put weird stuff in. I mean, they put HK-47 as the leader, and he's got a reasonable leadership, but it's not like, you know,
reasonable.
Well, it is. It's all right. It gives like critical
what even
damage
is that
and
in
stuff.
Galaxy Heroes anymore? Because it's like it's either meta or it's trash. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's very, very little in between these days. Like, I think the only one I would define as in between is probably Padme.
You reckon that she's not like meta then?
Yeah, but yeah, again, it's like it depends on what you define as meta, isn't it? Because like at the moment,
to beat General Skywalker.
Yeah, she wrecks gas.
I wouldn't even. I'd just say because it's Galactic Legends and everything else. I have to really say that the GLs are the meta, really. Like
the meta is 4 characters.
I mean, not wrong.
Okay, I mean, let's just say for our 5 listeners, we must be up to 5 by now. But Andy has unlocked.
Probably not.
Probably not. He has unlocked the Sith Emperor, so obviously his opinion of the rest of the game has drastically changed.
No. I would say that it hasn't. Like, I'd probably say it's probably gone the other way a little bit. I noticed how quiet he is.
I haven't been speaking the whole time. Yeah. Krennic's a pain. I don't like Krennic.
Yeah, but again, so it depends on what you define as meta, isn't it? So it's like Darth Revan's still technically meta. Like,
what do you mean? Is Darth Revan technically still meta?
He's still probably like the hardest non-galactic legend that's come out. In terms of
Jedi Master Luke,
he beats almost everything.
So what's your definition of meta then? What would be your definition of it?
It's as hard as
can take the top 50.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, if you're talking about squad arena, that varies depending on people's arena. But in terms of meta, I would probably say anything that's as hard as Jedi Knight Revan.
You'd still put JKR in that.
He's still very much meta. I don't think he's what he used to be, but he's still very much like a character that can dominate like everything if you don't have either him or something better than him.
Yeah, so you see, that's where the grey area is, right? Because obviously when JKR got released, like it was him and everybody else, right? Now, obviously you just said that he's nowhere near what he used to be. So, do you know what I mean? It's a tough conversation, really. I find it's a tough subject, like to define what meta is.
I mean, I think what did him was the fact that Malak came out, and Malak is Darth Revan's buddy, and Lightside Revan got no one. And
that's so fair.
Yeah.
But then every time a new Jedi releases, it has to be balanced around Jedi Knight Revan or risk becoming broken.
Yeah, and we have had this discussion already.
Indeed.
So, I don't know.
And that's going to be a huge thing for the armor as well now. Like, how like much the CG you're going to have to think about every character.
No,
they're going to have to test it with the armor.
They don't test things as it is. It's so obvious that they don't test things. Like, when they released, who was it? When they released the first set of Galactic Legends, and people were like, "Oh look, you can use 2 characters, Gas and Fives or something, and you can beat Kylo." It's like that clearly shows that you have not tested this team into what is already the current top meta at the time, and they did that before. Like Jedi Knight Revan first came out, people were like, "Cool, I just solo it with Nest." It's like Nest was already known as a really strong solo character. Obviously, you didn't test it. You know, it's happened several times to the point where I am pretty sure that their entire idea of testing is play this team on offense. Could it beat this? Yeah, okay, we're done.
I mean, Palpatine into Darth Revan.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to mention that, yeah.
They don't. I mean, if they do testing, it is only based on offense. They clearly don't do defense testing because, you know, just like that, purely that example, you go, Palpatine has always been a great character and he always runs a great team and he's still meta now. You know, how could you not test that?
The one thing for me that CG could do to balance things out is to make programmable defense, especially on GAC. Like, just to be able to program your team to say, okay, when X gets attacked, like just even if it's for the first 3 turns.
That sounds toxic as hell.
Yeah, it does, but it would. Yeah, I know what you mean, but at the same time, it's kind of like it would open up so many avenues as towards because even with down to like Sith Eternal, like if it's not on offense, it's a waste of time. If you could program the first 3 moves of your defense, just like you call it toxic, but it's just the same as what you do on attack, really.
I think it's too much. It's beyond the scope of the game.
On attack, you aren't like impeding another player's abilities to play the game, I guess. Counters often take weaknesses in an opponent's AI and exploits it, like the General Skywalker 5's counter. But without weaknesses in the AI, this offense-based game would become stale and lose a lot of playability.
I think the Armourer is a great example of that because on the offense, the Armourer is just brilliant. You can do so much stuff with it. But on defense, it's almost like the armor is programmed to be really bad so that you can't take advantage of it.
Even when she has 3 stacks of Beskar, she opens up with her armor shred. It's funny.
Yeah, and that's probably intentional.
But then you can make the argument of like what's really a counter, because it's like you're not really countering it, you're just relying on the computer's stupidity.
No, but
like,
you're beating a hard team. That's good in my book.
I mean, yeah, it's not really a chess-based game, so you have to accept at some point there has to be some considerations made. I mean, every team that's had custom AI added to it has, at the time of its inception, been incredibly hard to beat. You know, Revan was the first one.
I'm not necessarily saying it would be a good thing. I'm not advocating it. I'm just saying it would stir the meta. That's really all I'm saying. Is like it would just completely change the game. I'm not sitting here and saying, oh yeah, you should definitely get programmed with AI. It would just open up so many more avenues, like in terms of what you can and can't use on defense and attack and that kind of thing. That was really
I can see that.
Okay. Anyway, so you've unlocked. You've now beaten the Sith Emperor event. Did that event get better as you went on? I think you only beat like the first 2 levels when we spoke last time.
Yeah. So obviously you got the first level, which is taking down Windu and his crew with Sidious. Which, if I'm going to be honest, that's probably the hardest one. Especially if you don't have the Zeta. Like, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, I know what it's like, because I didn't, because I already had the Zeta on it, because I just couldn't be bothered to waste tickets.
Yeah,
it's a bit different for like people who like hardcore streamers like Arnold and that lot, who can just wail on a stupid amount of crystals. It doesn't really matter if they fail a couple of events. Like, I wanted to get it as quickly as possible.
I suppose if you're relic 7ing a character, you should really buy Zeta.
What was that, sorry?
If you're relic 7ing a character, you should really buy the Zetas, because you've already put so much in there.
Yeah, there's that to it as well. It's like, yeah, I've got a relic 7 Sidious. I mean, I'm not going to not Zeta him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even if he goes in a cleanup crew or just someone I stick on a back wall, so be it.
But like you say,
Zeta.
Someone like Arnold who goes, oh, cool, I've already relic 6'd every character in the game. I'm not going to put a Zeta on Sidious because it's just another character in my sea of everything.
Yeah, I mean, the only argument that I can kind of agree with him on is the fact that you can't wail on Zetas. So I kind of understand that to a degree. But yeah, I mean, it outweighs the whole. I've got a really trash relic 7 Sith, like, who, when you put the Zeta on him, he does kind of become viable in some teams. And I'm not going to say that he's meta defining, because he's not, but he's a lot better with it than without. I mean, and then the second event, he obviously taken on Luke, and I didn't need to change any of my mods for any of it. Like, I was genuinely under the belief that I'd probably have to remod my tunes, which I just didn't. Yeah, Vader, just get the ability blocks out, speed down, and then when the Palpatine thing comes in, just make sure you get your offense up, and eventually he might take you down to like just about nearly yellow health. But as soon as you'll get him down to that before then anyway. Yeah, and then obviously the events leading up to the ultimate ability materials. If you use Vader and Dooku, you just can't lose. You just can't, because Palpatine, I think he gets his ultimate like after one turn. You hit the ultimate, they both go down to red, and then you just activate Merciless Massacre, and it's GG. So I was really surprised at how easy it was, to be honest, considering like for the Kylo Ren event, you got the rock paper scissors, which, you know, it took some working out. As trash as it is, it took some working out.
So there's no rock paper scissors in your event?
No, it's really, really simple. Like, really simple. You have to really struggle to lose. Especially in the you think would be the hardest events, with the ticket stacking up to get to the ultimate ability.
I suppose if you
think that it'd be really difficult, but sorry? If
you picked other characters, though, it might be harder.
But I don't see why you would.
I mean, you can, once you've beaten all the events and stuff, you can try it without any tickets if you want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you have to, like, when you get to the ultimate ability, you're spending like 70 tickets to get it, and on average, a refresh for me is 8 tickets.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, No, so it's kind of like you have to look at it from a crystal point of view. You're probably looking at 350 to 400 crystals if you're not going up to the 200 echelon to just to play the event. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh yeah, I'll take in Sod it, I'll take in like Assassin and or Marauder and Maul just for the banter. Like it's I'm really surprised they just didn't make it harder because Dooku with the stuns and the ability blocks and then Vader just cleaning up afterwards. It's really simple. So well, I'm complaining because at the end of the day, I know that as soon as I get to that ticket threshold, I know that I'm getting that material and I'm not sweating about it. So I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, it just surprises me at how easy it was.
Well, I suppose that's good. It means you're not going to be wasting tickets because you're going to go through it every time. How hard was the Kylo one?
It wasn't hard for me because I unlocked it at a point where guides had been made and all the strategies had been found. But it was rough for the first couple of weeks of the event being live. Like it was a fairly hard event tier to beat. 5 and 6 were easy as hell.
Yeah, because this is kind of funny, right? So I've not looked at any of the missions for the newer 2 Galactic Legends. And part of that was that I was like, well, if I'm going for Luke, I want to play those levels. But now I'm thinking, well, it's like you could just play those levels and then lose all these tickets. And it's like, well, now you're taking away the enjoyment of like that surprise. Almost like you have to have the spoilers.
Yeah.
So I'll probably cave and watch a video on them before I play them. Or I'm miles away from it. I'm at least like, I don't know, 4 months at least.
Yeah. It's honestly the optimal way, unfortunately. Like, you really don't want to be wasting tickets in this game.
No, the ticket system just seems to be, I don't know, just a punishment. There's no real reason for it other than the fact that they think, oh, well, the community will spend even more crystals or whatever. And it's just sort of like, it doesn't make you enjoy things when you kind of feel like you're being punished or given more. Just, do this and then play this level so that you can basically almost auto. So your Sith Eternal, you got up to, I think it was Gear 12, I think last time I looked at your profile.
Yeah, it's Gear 12 and the last 3 pieces I can tell you now, I think I'm 13 med packs off one of them. I need I think 5 more HoloLenses. That's it. I think that's it. I think that is it before I get into Gear 13.
That's pretty good.
But the only thing I'll say about him is he does feel a little bit lackluster without the ultimate. I know it might just be me being a massive noob and I might just be misplaying it. But the counter to gas, where if you link gas up and he can't get back up, seems very, what's the word? Can't seem to nail it every time. I can't seem to figure out why.
Well, I mean, having not used the Sith Eternal, I don't quite understand how his kit works because like he's got so many abilities. He's not quite as simple as the others.
I mean, it's obviously when you link 2 people, every time they use an ability, it drains their protection. And I saw a counter to gas where like he literally can't get up. And
because he can't recover the protection.
Yeah, it worked for me twice. Once when I linked him with Echo, and once when I linked him with Arc.
All right, so all right, I get it. So is it like basically every time Arc or whoever you linked him to uses an ability, it would drain Gas's protection?
It's the 2 linked people that you don't.
Right. Okay. So because Gas is sitting down, you need to link him to someone who takes a lot of turns.
I presume so. Like it worked against Arc, and I need to do a little bit more testing and read into it a little bit more.
Does it work when they use their basic?
Yes.
Then
it's any ability, but if I link him to 5s, which I really wanted to do, because I'm like, well, the sooner I can get 5s to 0 protection, the easier I can bin him off.
Yeah.
Every time I've linked him to 5s, when Anakin sits down, his protection keeps going back up. And I'm looking at it, and don't get me wrong, I'm probably sat just being a huge noob.
One of the problems with 5s though is that his Zeta gives him turn meter whenever you damage members of his team.
Yeah, so in theory that should help because you want him taking turns. It saps away. It saps away. So you want him to get. He's
got counterattacks, but he doesn't really assist. So it's like Echo obviously assists more. I don't know. Maybe there is like a better choice that you just pick. There's a specific one that you meant to pick or something.
I'm just trying to read into it now. I don't know. I think it's So Discord, isn't it?
I don't know. His kit looks so complicated just from a reading perspective. I'd imagine it'd be much easier when you play it in the game and you look at the individual abilities.
Yeah, at the start of each linked enemy turn, linked enemies lose 20% max protection, quadrupled for Jedi, and Sith Eternal Emperor gains 25% of the amount lost. Linked enemies can't critically hit. Damage they deal is decreased by 25%. Yeah, there's not. I can't work it out. Sometimes it works. Like sometimes I link them up and gas just sits there until I just destroy the rest of the clones. Other times he gets back up and he just starts munching me. To be fair, the critical hit immunity, that really helps. Like he went after my Marauder hard and he just couldn't take him down. I don't know what it is I'm missing. I really don't. Like if any of the 5 listeners that we do actually get want to tell me how much of a noob I am in the comments, then I'll be grateful because I literally don't know what it is I'm missing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. I mean, I've tried to play against him a couple of times, and I just don't know what I'm really doing. And then he just does all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't really know what I should do to get around it, or who I should attack, or whatever. And then I die anyway because all my best stuff's light side.
I mean, the ability that I most like the most is like the reset of the health and the protection if someone dies. Like I'm thinking, I don't know whether there might be an old DACA thing in there that you could probably do.
Well, I know that there's like isn't there a thing on the Galactic Legends where they stop revives, or is it they themselves can't be revived?
They can't be. It says enemies defeated by Sidious can't be revived.
Okay.
I don't know about teammates. Yeah, I mean, like if they brought out a character that does like Sith revives, then that would just completely break it. So that just won't happen. Obviously, DACA's only got the 35% chance, I think. Is that right?
It's quite low for non-Night Sisters.
I believe Smar was used for Darth Revan defense teams. She has revives.
Yeah,
she's not Sith though, is she?
No, she's got anti-Sith stuff.
But I'm pretty sure there's still revive stuff.
Yeah, he's a cool character. Like he's got me to be able to break like the top 75 in my squad arena, which I've never been able to do. But at the same time, like still getting pushed back to like the 180s because
he's not Gear 13 yet. That probably makes quite a big difference to how hard he is to kill.
Yeah, and I suppose people look at him at Gear 12 with one of the Zetas missing, and without the ultimate, they think that's an easy takedown.
The thing is, though, is a lot of people like to try playing against that because it's like, oh, I can't beat it when it's Relic 7, so at least I can try it earlier on and get a feel for it a bit better.
I'm not exactly running a god-fearing team with it. Like my Relic 7 Vader, Palpatine, and Marauders in there with a Gear 12 Darth Revan. I don't even know why I haven't Gear 13 Darth Revan.
Is there any reason you didn't go for Bastila instead of Darth Revan?
Basti is Gear 10 or 11.
Oh. Wait.
There's certain like characters that I do. I look at it.
Oh yeah, she's Gear 11.
I do look at it and I think, what am I doing?
But also, you've got your you had Malak for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, he's only 6-star.
Oh right, okay. So it's I think it will probably be you'll put Malak in when you finish getting his stars then.
In terms of like what I want to do next, obviously getting Palpatine up to Relic 7 and getting his ultimate is obviously the big thing. And then hopefully by that sort of time, I'm hoping Moff Gideon becomes farmable. He's really, really good with Palp. And yeah, obviously like Malak and Bastila is probably the better ones to go with. Or obviously you got the Triumvirate, which have like dated and stuff, but not really all the way up like Uni does. So yeah, casual plug there, mate. He's fun. Don't get me wrong. He is fun to play with, and it's really fun to like. You see like every time I see like a Relic 7 like Jedi Knight Luke lead, I'm like, oh, that's cute. And
yeah, I've actually just started using Jedi Knight Luke as the leader because I was previously using Padme, and I've just basically gone, well, out goes Padme, in comes Jedi Knight Luke, and that's really, I wouldn't say it's like massively changed things, but it's massively changed who will attack me. Like a lot of players don't bother attacking me.
Yeah, for me, Jedi Knight Luke is probably the easiest team for me now.
Well, yeah, because you get so many anti-Jedi, anti-light-side stuff. It's like
they just get absolutely destroyed. Like
free meal.
The Jedi Knight Revan, if you have Jedi Knight Revan with him, which most people do, then obviously it makes it like
I don't. Mine's Gear 12.
That's about it, really. Like it's as soon as you link up Jedi, like Jolie, and you can link up Jedi Knight Luke, and it's over. Like it's just done.
What was your arena rank before you started using him?
All right.
Your arena rank. What was it before you switched over to the Galactic Legend?
I'd be happy with anything sub 150.
Okay, so your position has not really changed since changing team.
Not usually, no. But like I said, it's okay. I'll be able to take on the bigger boys once I've got the ultimate. Then obviously, once I start seeing Jedi Master Luke and all that kind of stuff, then I'll be able to like real trickle my way in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
still hitting like massive walls of like Relic 7 Drevens.
Yeah, because I'm past that. I like my team lives in the gas buffer, so it's either there's like a few gases around, or if I do run into Darth Revan or whatever, it's like Darth Revan's quite easy with Jedi Knight Luke.
I've always struggled against Darth Revan. I've always struggled against him.
He's a tough character.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking now, and there's a 157 arena rank Wallet Ray. There's a gas there at 1-4-3, and the rest of them are just Drevens.
Have you tried him
into? A couple of Padmes here and there.
Have you tried him into any of the other Galactic Legends yet?
Have I tried against the Galactic Legends? No, yeah. I won't try. I don't think I want to try that until at least he's relicked.
Yeah, it probably just explodes.
Yeah, I'll just get deleted.
Okay, fair enough. Well, at least it's obviously made a positive impact for you. And in the Grand Arena, have you been using him?
Yeah, I mainly just use him to solo, to get a few extra bounces to solo the crap teams that get put on the back wall. Like I said, I'm a little bit reluctant to use him properly because of the fact that I'm looking at stuff in his kit and even I'm not really understanding it. Like I said, the thing with the gas, I'm like, I know he's a hard counter to gas, but yet in the arena, I'm still like screwing battles up. So like, I don't really want him to go, oh, this guy's put gas on defense. So then I'll go, oh, okay, well, I can run over him my Eternal Emperor, and then I just get deleted and just look like a chump. So I'm still a little bit wary.
Okay, well, fair enough. It's good to have a bit of an impression about the character. It's the Galactic Legends are obviously so hard to get that it's hard to have any experience with them unless you've also got one or you've got a really top team and you just keep throwing it into them to see what stuff it does.
Yeah.
And obviously Uni's coming up soon with his.
It's going to be the case of like when I get into Relic 7, he's got his ultimate. I think that's just a massitive game changer. Until then, I'm kind of just like pressing the brakes a little bit, to be honest.
Is his ultimate easy to get?
What was that, sorry?
They've all got like conditions, haven't they, before they can use it?
Yeah, so he gains 2% ultimate charge whenever a deceived enemy uses an ability, which he gets deceived on his basic. Obviously, if he's the leader, he gains 8% ultimate charge whenever a linked enemy uses an ability.
All right, okay. So you basically just you put out your debuffs or whatever and then just let them take turns?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like those links, like if you can link... For me, from what I can see anyway, you want to link the two fastest characters on the team. They can't crit hit anyway under the linked, and obviously the more turns they take, the quicker you're going to get it off. I think that's a lot of the reason why, like, when you watch like videos like Arnold and all that kind of stuff put out, they always have like a perma tank with them, and it's just not something I have in a minute. So it's probably something I need to invest in. I've got so much other things that I need to do. Like I need to get the geos up.
You spend so much effort to get to the Galactic Legend. It's not surprising.
I just saw on the guild chat earlier someone say something about getting like people don't want to get up to gear 12 geos, and I kind of winced a little bit because I was like, oh yeah, I'm that guy.
That might have been me.
I need to sort that out. Really.
I was commenting on our Discord that certain people hadn't done geos. Not that I'm particularly having a go at any of those people because I haven't, but I don't know. It feels like some players who I will not name, that is definitely not you, Andy, have had almost Gear 12 Geos for a long, long time, and they've just spent all of their time doing other things, which might be newer, shinier, or Galactic Legend. It's like, dude, why don't you just do that? Because it gets us another, Tambor Shard.
I think when I joined this guild, I had like 2 of the Geos at like 4-star. I think, how long have I been in the guild now? About 6-7 months?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. They're all at 7-star now, apart from Brood Alpha, who's pretty damn close. But I needed to
you need
Cantina Energy to get.
You need a lot of gear on your Geos. I'm just looking at them now.
Do I?
Yeah, you've got like 2 Gear 8s and a Gear 7.
No, come on.
No, I'm not joking. I'm looking at your Geos right now.
EBA's at 10.
Yeah.
Pog was at 10.
Yeah.
Right, Spies at 8. Yeah, all right. Soldiers at 8 and some facts at 7. Some facts unmodded. Oh, okay.
Oh, I haven't even. Soldiers unmodded. Spies unmodded. Poggle's missing 2 mods. Great.
Raid just with the public call out.
Yeah. Well, By the time people have listened to this, you've had plenty of time to at least put mods on, if you wanted to. Yeah, well, doing your geos would be nice. That would help us out a bit more towards the Wat Tambor mission.
Yeah, that's something I really I have to.
But
I was going to do Beskar Mando, but after watching Arnold stream the other night, where like he's just absolutely goddamn useless.
You know what? It's really bad for you to say that you watched Arnold stream and he's useless when a player like Arnold has everything in the game almost maxed out and he says this is useless. Does not mean it's useless. It means it's just he's got 4 maxed out Galactic Legends. You know what I mean? It's like, of course, a non-Galactic Legend character.
Yeah, but he's putting them up against it. But he's not. He's putting them up against teams that I would face anyway. It's not. It's just not doing anything. Like it was meant to hard counter like Grievous, and it can't even do that properly.
Was it?
For Scoundrel stuff, I'd definitely suggest like checking out Clash for actual content. Like he knows what he's doing with them.
No, everyone's gone silent.
It's because none of us want to say things that we might be thinking, or at least I don't, because I don't want to sound like an ass.
Thinking all day.
Say what you want to say. Like I'm happy to hear it. Like I've been wrong so many times.
No, I'm not like trying to have a go at you. I mean, like I don't want to like say other content creators might not know what they're doing when they might not know what they're doing. You know, it's like money buys wins for certain people. It doesn't do that for me because I don't have that ability.
I know what you're saying.
You know,
I know what you're saying. I feel like I'm at a point in my roster now where like I have to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
Because especially like now I've got a Galactic Legend. I know I'm going to start getting matched against Galactic Legends, and I need to make sure that the effort I'm putting in for teams is going to be beneficial for me. Not just for me, for the guild. If I didn't have Palp, I'd probably just go. I'll sod it. I'll unlock Beskar and just hope that they release Catan and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's like impossible. That may happen depending on what happens in the more seasons they release of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I know I'm still holding out for a Galactic Legend Mando.
I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that if they're not careful, we'll end up with like 10 different versions of Mando, and we'll still have the Mandalorian Darksaber squad.
Yeah, I just think you could do the Signet one with him with the Darksaber, and then obviously do Moff Gideon with the Darksaber. I don't know. Like I just because obviously the Mandalorian's money. Let's be honest, it's money, so they're not going to leave money on the table.
There are plenty of other series though that they've said they're going to do. So there's lots of other things to do that I doubt they feel they need to just do Mandalorian.
I want more Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah, so do I.
Mole stuff.
Yeah, so do I. Like if like me, Mandalorian content would be back of the queue, but it's not about what we want. It's about what makes money. Like with like Baby Yoda being like literally the most marketable thing in Star Wars history, they're not going to leave that on the table. It's just why would you? From a business point of view, anyway.
Yeah. Well, he's now on 2 characters.
But how many's Obi-Wan Kenobi going to end up with?
Oh, I don't know, because it's like at the moment it feels like there's not actually that many Kenobis compared to some characters.
I know, but like
you want Han Solo and Leia's and Luke's.
Yeah,
those are the ones with millions, and Chewbacca's.
I mean,
those 4.
Yeah, I mean, even Leia. There's only 2 of her. She feels kind of. Yeah, you've just got Princess Leia and Rolo.
Oh,
it feels like there are so many more.
Well, there are. Yeah. They just won't do them.
There's going to be 3 more Obi-Wans. I mean, I guarantee there'll be 3 more Obi-Wans.
You could just looking at Return of the Jedi, you could have Slave Leia, which we all wish we would get, but we will never get. Because they wouldn't dare upset Disney.
That would be a marketing nightmare.
Thirsty.
You know, it's totally should. I mean, that might be one of the reasons why they haven't done Jabba the Hutt. But there you go. Slave Leia, we should totally get. There's also
too attractive.
When she's dressed as the bounty hunter. Is it Bosch or Boss or I don't know.
Bosch.
Yeah, the one that sounds like it should be like a Japanese appliance. But that one, they could totally do that and do her as a bounty hunter if they wanted to. And then you've got obviously the sort of jungle outfit one. So it's like even that film, you've got like almost 3 different characters you could pick from a Return of the Jedi.
For me, they feel like skins more than they do characters. Like with Obi-Wan, like you're gonna get Master Kenobi Galactic Legend. It's gonna happen. Like
Yeah, I mean,
it's just the reality.
Okay,
of it.
you could say
You got Phantom Menace apprentice Obi-Wan.
Yeah, there's all those. There's all the Phantom Menace characters.
Then you're gonna have the Obi-Wan of the new series, where he's just a little bit older before he gets to old Ben.
What they're gonna call him though? Not quite old Ben Kenobi.
Not quite old Ben.
But like almost
Ben
old
Kenobi,
Ben
won't it?
Kenobi.
Midlife
He'll have
crisis.
taken the name of Ben Kenobi.
No, midlife crisis Kenobi. I like that.
Would it be just senior Kenobi or something? I don't know. It's if it does.
Or just Ben Kenobi.
I mean, I'm just looking for the normal one. So the normal one is called Obi-Wan Kenobi Old Ben in brackets. So would it just be Obi-Wan Kenobi Ben in brackets? And just leave out the old.
Benjamin.
Yeah, just Ben Kenobi.
Don't know what it's like. Does he take the name Ben like literally as soon as he drops Luke off with the Sand People? Not the Sand People. That's a really bad thing to say.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
That's not what happened at all. Yeah, does he take that name like literally right at the end of Revenge of the Sith, or does it like come? Like,
I don't really know because all I remember from the end of that film is that you sort of get the panned out shot where you don't really get any dialogue, and he's just like, "Here, have baby. I'm going this way now."
We might get some of that information in the Kenobi TV show.
Exactly, and they're not going to leave that money on the table. They will make a character for that.
Yeah, but maybe only one.
Well, only one Kenobi.
I'm still waiting for Phantom Menace Kenobi as well. So with the little,
if they touch the Phantom Menace, you know they have to touch Jar Jar Binks, and I don't think the game is ready for this.
See, Jar Jar Binks would be a great character.
Jar Jar will definitely be in the game.
He should be in the game.
There's only two people I think will end up that will never be in the game ever, and that'll be Slave Leia and Porkins. Those are the only two.
Porkins
Justice
is really
for Porkins.
Yeah, people really want Porkins as well, but then it's like, oh, special ability, too fat for cockpit. Oh, great. He doesn't really do anything.
Did you see like Doja Fett appeared in the Star Wars events Discord?
I saw that someone in the guild said that he had, and then the next thing I saw, I think it was guild member Mando was basically all like, "Oh my god, Arnold's talking to him," and I was like, "Great."
But one thing Doja did say was Darth Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, but he's a fanboy. He's not like really. He doesn't come across as like somebody who's actually there on the development team or anything. He's just sort of like, I really like Star Wars and actually talk to people.
I literally think that's so great because it's like he's going to know our pain as fans rather than just players.
Yeah, definitely. But again, as fans, the things that we sometimes want don't get done because they won't dare do them. Slave Leia. I mean, look, how long did it take us to get some of this stuff in the game? You know, you think characters like Padme took forever to appear in this game.
True.
You know, and it's like she's in 3 films.
I think that's only a good thing because it just means the game can run as long as it needs to.
I remember actually being surprised when Padme released that she wasn't already in the game. Like, I hadn't thought about it before then, but when the event dropped, it was an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, their kind of design choices on what they choose to work on is purely based on what they think is, I don't know, well, since the Mandalorian show, it's going to be literally what they think is in the public eye. It's not like they've gone, oh, you know what, this year we're going to focus on episode 3 or episode 5 or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not like they've got like a constructed plan for it. I mean, they did a lot of Clone Wars stuff because they were planning to put the Geonosis territory battles in. And I could definitely see at some point where they go, hey, we need to do another 2 territory battles. Although I do think it would have been much nicer if they'd have just put like a difficulty on the territory battles that you could just select. And, you know, you could go, I want to play Hoth, but I want to play Hoth that's really hard. Just so that you still had that content rather than it being content that you move past and never go back to.
Understandable.
Have a nice day. When are we going to do a Conquest episode?
Oh yeah, we're meant to be doing Conquest, aren't we? We've totally gone off a tangent and we've been chatting for like 45 minutes. We've not even talked about our main topic because that's what we do around here. Okay, let's do that. I've got the thing on screen. So, have you guys read it? The Road
Yes, I have had ample time to read it while we were chatting.
Okay, has everybody else read it?
I kind of read it.
Okay.
I think I know what it's about.
Right, so no from Uni. Andy, have you read it?
Yes, I've read it.
Okay, so for any listeners that haven't seen this, this is the road ahead for January 2021. They occasionally put these out to basically say what direction they're going within the game or what they're currently working on that we should be excited about. So I'm not going to read all of this because it's a massive wall of text, so I'm just going to paraphrase it with them basically saying that they're putting in another new game mode, which is obviously really good for us, and it's going to be called Conquest. And what this is that you basically get like a map, and then you get different nodes on the map. You move along the nodes and fight different battles. So it seems to be very similar to the current Galactic War, but there also seems to be a little bit more strategy to it in that you're not necessarily just going along a linear path, and that you sometimes might get choices. Or there might be, I don't know, like one of the things they put down here is that, you could choose to go to the shop or do this or whatever. The rewards you get are all based on the number of levels that you beat. You get these things they call Conquest keycards, which are very similar to the way the Galactic Legends ticket system works with the rewards. Galactic Legends, the Galactic Challenges, too much Galactic. So the Galactic Challenges, obviously, the more levels you beat, the more feats you do, the more little points you get enough points to unlock a box. It's the same deal in this, from what we understand. And it seems to be that they've sort of said that if you keep using the same squad, your squad has like a stamina, and obviously its stamina will go down, and you'll have to wait for a timer or something, or spend on an item to be able to use your squad again. There's not a huge amount of detail on that. But that's basically that. So it feels like as a game mode, you will need to have quite a wide roster to be able to attempt a lot of different missions. It doesn't really say what happens if you lose, like whether you lose your squad and you can't use them again, or whether it's reset. It leaves out a lot of things that you might ask about. It's very basic in the information that we're given, other than the fact that they're like, you'll get this shiny thing, or we're planning to do this shiny thing, and it's like, well, I have no context for your shiny thing. But it does sound similar to some of the things that I've seen in other mobile games, like Clash of Clans, where you've got like a timer cooldown before you can do a thing, and you have to wait for it.
Yeah, my first thought reading this was that it could easily be a flagship game mode for an entirely different game. Like, depending on how well they do on this, it could be like a new draw to the game.
It does kind of like, from the language they've used, obviously they've selected certain words to make things sound bigger or better than they may otherwise be. But like, I'm looking at the second paragraph, and it's like, players will face a series of escalating battles on a sector map that allows them to choose which encounters and bonuses they will meet. That in itself sounds like it could be a very big thing, but also you could be like, well, it could just be pick A or B, and it's, not as big as that says.
Look how big they made Galactic Challenges out to be. So
yeah, exactly. They were like, this is going to be an amazing thing. You're going to be able to play as much as you want. You're going to be able to play all the time, and then it's like, nope, it's just an event that cycles now twice a week. You can't. We still didn't get what we kind of wanted, which was the ability to just go, I want to play against this specific thing.
I've come to the conclusion that a sandbox game mode is probably not going to be as fun as people think it will be. What will be a good idea would be guild and friendly PvP.
Yeah, no,
that's a sandbox game mode. Good, I guess, for the theory crafters and testing counters, but after a week of using it, you probably won't touch it again until a new character comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree on that. I don't. Sandbox was never a sort of thing I was after. I mean, when we spoke before, just gently on the chat, it was, that's what we were thinking would be cool. Was just, can I play against my friends?
Yeah,
that's all I want.
I mean, yeah, the only way you can do that nowadays is by getting in the same arena shard. And I mean, Matt, or Marek, however you say it, I'm in his shard on my ult. So one day, I might be able to face him, but that's it.
But even then, you can only play against his arena team, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's still very limited.
The way to it is GAC, which is almost impossible to find people.
Yeah, it's kind of random. I mean, because I've now moved into Division 1, the people that are in it are very random. Like, everyone's got like 1 million more galactic power than me, but they all don't seem very good. Like, not necessarily that their rosters are very good, but them as players don't seem very
brutal.
good. You have to be brutal. You know, you can't just like sugarcoat everything. I don't know.
To be fair, it's probably the... I don't know if it's the biggest pool of players in Galactic, or not Galactic, too much Galactic in this game. Grand Arena.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, I know that
the early game players are diluted between like Division 11 to 9, but
yeah,
every single player above like 4 million GP is in Division 1.
I don't think they are. Not in the same Division 1. Because I'm clicking on Division 1 right now. I'm rank currently 353, it says, in Division 1. And that's of the top, because no one's in Kyber yet, so that's in Erodium. And if I look through the leaderboards for that, I'm like, cool, there's nobody here whose name I recognise from anything. You know, I can scroll through
just
50 players.
That's really the same in any division. That's just how the matchmaking works. But what I'm saying is the player pool is so massive that you're bound to meet a whole lot more people who don't know what they're doing.
Oh no, I agree to that. But
how many people there are?
Yeah. What I meant to say was that there's probably so many people in Division 1 that when everyone gets split into where they're sort of going to be, that they'll go, well, it's kind of like arena shards, where you go, well, there's 20 arena shards or 200 arena shards, and it might be there's like, you know, this 1,000 players get put in this group and they only play each other, rather than it being from everybody in the game.
I think the reason you're not seeing many people with like massive accounts in Division 1, like leaderboards or anything, is because the higher up you are, the higher squads you use, and like the less banners you get per match. So people with smaller accounts like that are going to get more points and be higher on the leaderboards.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy who's in first place at the moment, he's obviously a whale, because I'm looking at like him and going, oh, he's got Relic 7, Mandalorian, and IG-11, and everything else. Well, he's got Moff Gideon, Relic 5. He's got 2 Galactic Legends, you know, but he doesn't have 4 Galactic Legends. You know, like when you see some of the streams from people like Arnold, where he's got 4 Galactic Legends, he's playing against people with 4 Galactic Legends all the time. But I'd imagine
matchmaking be that way.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, but I'm like, well, this guy's got like, say, 6.8 million, but he's only got 2 Galactic Legends. So if he ran into somebody else who had 4 Galactic Legends, I'm pretty sure he would be screwed. So it doesn't.
That's where the top 80 thing comes in.
Yeah. I mean, the guy in second place has got 1 Galactic Legend, and he's only at 5 million in comparison to the guy who's in first place. You know, the guy in third place has no Galactic Legends. So it's like, well, you know, matchmaking is still to a large degree kind of random because there's so many players. So I don't know, but I haven't seen anybody's name on this list that's been somebody I recognise from, say, YouTube or any of the guilds or anything. So it's like, well, am I in a different Division 1 to them?
Effectively, yeah.
I'm just nowhere near that stage, so it's difficult for me to comment, really.
Yeah, well, Division 1 just seems to be a very strange division, in that because it's literally everybody that reaches point X or higher, that there's a large discrepancy in the quality of players, and I've actually found that it's much easier than Division 2.
It's basically just Star Wars Galaxy Limbo.
Yeah, very much. Like Division 2 is quite hard because it feels like people don't want to push up to Division 1. They just want to stay in Division 2 because they think as soon as they go to Division 1 it'll be really hard. I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to go into Division 2 because I don't want to have to use multiple fleets.
That is very fair.
Yeah, if I go up to that, then I am well and truly PG podcast, so fill in the blanks.
So do you think this game mode's going to be have an effect on like things like Grand Arena?
How good you are at Grand Arena will help to determine how good you'll be at this game mode, in all fairness.
Yeah, quite possibly.
But I don't think it will be affected vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was looking at it from the perspective of like the stamina thing. I'm like, well, if you have to use different squads to avoid just having your one squad be fatigued, it made me sort of think that like, well, there's a lot of people that play this game that really just focus on like one or two squads, and they don't really diversify outwards because they're so afraid of their GP going up because of things like Grand Arena. You know, they just want to dominate it with their one super squad.
Yeah.
You know, like king of their own little fish pond.
That's not my ult. But yeah, Division 1. If you look at Division 1 now, one of the people who's at the top has like 7 relics. Maybe more.
Okay.
They're not Division 1, Division 11.
Right, okay. Yeah, I remember you saying there was some. Yeah, that person is the prime example of that. It's like, I want to dominate the smallest fish pond. I'm the biggest fish in the smallest pond. And I kind of feel that like those sorts of players will really suffer in this new mode, because you go, well, I've got 1 or 2 teams or whatever, and you go, cool, I beat a battle with it, or I beat 2 battles with it, and now the team is like fatigued or worn down.
I don't think those players will, though, because they're quite clearly whales, and you'll probably be able to buy that weird thing that refreshes stamina. So
possibly,
keep buying and
yeah, it depends how easy it is for you to have access to that, or the time frame in which you have access to that. Because I mean, if this event, they didn't really specify how long this would be before it got reset.
3 weeks. About.
Did they say 3 weeks? Because I'm like looking through this and I'm like, I can't see.
They weren't specific, but the wording makes it seem like it will be once a month and 3 weeks with a week of like review or sign up.
Okay, I don't think why you would need a review or sign up though if it's just PvE.
I don't know, but it's definitely not going to go on like back to back.
Okay, so it could be a once a month thing, and it's just try and score as much stuff as you could.
Well, they have stated it will be once a month, but the time frame within that month is up for debate.
Okay. What about some of the other little things they've sort of alluded to on here? So, like, they say, oh, you beat so many levels, then you get to fight a boss. Do you think that's just going to be, oh, it's just a dude who's got ramped up stats? Or do you think that might actually be, oh, you fight like a mini Rancor or something?
I don't know, but if they throw in like the spirit boss of the Darth Revan event, I'm going to throw my phone out of a window.
Yeah, that guy's got pretty hard.
I think by boss they do mean things like Rancor, because otherwise you can just... Every single team in the game has a hard counter, I'm pretty sure. So by just ramping up someone's stats, that's still going to leave it open to a very easy counter to some people. So
I don't know.
For an actual challenge, I think they're going to make it a boss.
Yeah, because
definitely, I think the strats will be save your Galactic Legend or strongest team for those boss fights, and try and scrape through the rest with the rest of your roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it depends on what happens to defeated characters. So, like, when you play the normal Galactic War, obviously, if you lose a character, that character's gone until you reset the Galactic War. Yeah. So is it like something like this will be that character is gone, or they get put on a really long cooldown until you can use them again? Which would mean that if it's if there's a different cooldown to whether you use the character or whether the character died, that would make some characters really awful. Because there are plenty of characters in this game that like get killed off, but still have done their thing.
Fives.
Well, Fives is like the ultimate example of like, oh look, I died to make everyone better. Yeah, it feels like the clone team would get proper shafted with that sort of thing. Because if he kills himself and you're like, oh, now I've got to wait like 3 days for Fives to come back from the dead. I can't use my clothes for 3 days.
I do feel like turn meter train teams are going to be the way forward.
Yeah, or teams that
they rely strongly on things like that.
Teams that have like massive amounts of healing. So like Jedi Knight Luke with Yoda, it's like a lot of battles you put that team into, you just come out with max health and protection, and you haven't lost anybody.
I think Palpatine and Troopers are going to be quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what carries over as well. So like when you play the Galactic War, like your turn meter and health from the previous battle carries over.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would do that. But it could be there's sort of I don't know, like, well, I don't know what you want to call it, like the healing time to remove the fatigue or whatever would be lower if you took less damage.
It's all hypotheticals at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to determine what any of these things will be. I mean,
I definitely think stamina will basically correspond to stat decreases, whether it's the agility, tactics, strength stats or their actual combat stats. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, I read that and immediately just thought it's going to be you're on a cooldown because your stamina's depleted, and that was it. You know, like your roster would refresh once a day, and they would just do it like that. Like to be really easy with it, they would just go like, right, if you get a roster refresh every day, then you can only use each character once. That's effectively a stamina system.
Yeah, they mention that as your character's stamina depletes, you lose combat effectiveness.
Okay, so yeah, so then maybe it's more like you say, where it's like you can use the character multiple times, but they're just stacking more negatives.
Yeah. Stamina is only depleted when a character successfully completes a combat mission.
Okay. So does that mean there's
character's stamina falls, their effectiveness in combat will also diminish.
Okay. So that
character with 0 cannot be brought into battle.
So that makes me think that like if you lose a mission, you lose nothing. But you can attempt it multiple times.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay.
I definitely don't think it will take much from Galactic War, because I'm sure they're probably aware by this point how little we care for Galactic War.
The thing with Galactic War, though, is that it's like it was really good at a certain point in the game, and then it just became.
I hated Galactic War.
Really?
I haven't done Galactic War on my ult. Like on my main, I used to think, "Oh, got to get all this stuff," but on my ult,
you can't be bothered.
I did it 50 times, and then I hit level 85, and I just sim it.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't know what I'd do without my bogey.
It used to be that you only had to do it like 50 times to sim it, and then they changed it to like 150 times.
Well, my ult would only do 50.
Yeah, I don't know if they went and changed it back, but because I had like over 100 completions on it, I couldn't sim it until I got to 150 at one point.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, that was when it first came out, I think, because my main couldn't sim it immediately.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, if it's 50 now, then that's all the better.
Basically, even when Galactic War was challenging, it was just, in my eyes, a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean,
either you'd win or you'd find a Bastilla on the last node and have to reset and try the next time, and that just wasn't fun.
No, that's definitely not. Again, it comes down to having a wide enough roster, and you don't really have that when you're quite a newer player. I don't really think there's not really much that we can otherwise get from this.
That's a bit vague, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't really answer any questions. It just sort of asks a lot.
It creates hype.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's it'll actually see the light of day and be good. I mean, I'm not going to complain about there being more stuff in this game.
The outro makes it seem like it is coming soon.
But they obviously haven't given us a date or anything.
No.
But then how long did it take them?
Side note, as a Galactic Challenge apologist since the very beginning, I think I'm finally at my end. Those Mandalorian feats, man.
I've never been a fan. I haven't been a fan since day one.
Oh.
I know.
They were really bad as well. And I get the feeling that when the next thing comes out, they're just going to slot that in and go, oh, now you need this. Now you need to buy this thing to be able to do these missions.
I just think they're really tedious.
The current one is where you have to get all those weird little, I don't know, whatever it's called, the ally, get 100 ally ticks or whatever it is to get this thing. That was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, Mandalorian loyalty, I think.
Yeah.
For the foundling trait or feat.
I haven't managed to work up the patience to do that.
Has
Like, I
I
did
haven't
it
done
once.
the Galactic Challenge.
yeah, I did do it, but I had to use Hermit Yoda. Has this sort of Mandalorian or Beskar Mando thing actually encouraged any of you guys to farm those characters?
I mean, aside from me, who was already doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, strictly speaking, I was already also doing some Mandalorians, Gar Saxon and ISC, but apart from that, no.
Yeah, the problem is that Gar Saxon and Super Commando don't actually really benefit you in those challenges.
No, but they can carry some of the lower ones.
No, but you've not been liking
and stuff.
You've obviously not been encouraged to go for Beskar Mando, because I mean I'm looking at it, and I've not bothered going after IG or Quill since they basically became farmable. I'd already done the TIE Bomber, so I was kind of like, well, I'm just going back for that node for that character if I want it. And I don't know. I mean, I was already doing Cara Dune. I'm on 98 out of 100 Cara Dune. Been playing that node 5 times every day for over a week, and I'm still on 98 out of 100 because it hasn't given me the last two.
An Archangel and blow 800.
Yeah, no, I need 2 more shards, but it's been like that for a week, and I'm like, okay, I've played this node 25 times, and I've got nothing. So yeah, and I guess the feeling is that sort of like after I do her, I'd already done Grief and Mando because they were both on fleet nodes, and I'd done them sort of a while ago. So I'm like, well, do I go back to those other 2? Because I've already got them on sort of like, they're both like 30 out of 85. But then by the time I've done them both, they'll have gone and removed these Mandalorian feats and replaced them with something else.
I've talked about this in the Discord, but IG-11 and Quill have been absolutely clutch in this 3v3 Grand Arena for me.
Really?
Like, I've put them under Django, and they have been getting hold after hold on the back line.
Why specifically Django?
Well, he's the only other scoundrel lead I have, and also he's a speed lead.
Well, you could use regular Lando Calrissian.
Or I could not own regular Lando Calrissian and be a lot happier.
You know, I'm not surprised you don't own him.
But they've won me Grand Arenas, and I've sped up Quill for this round. He's now running at about 290 under Django lead.
Wow, must be nice to have mods.
Oh, I know. It's so good. I put on both the Zetas on them, like when they released, which I had been regretting up until now.
Okay.
But Quill's stat share. Basically, at the back line in my division, people are running out of things, and they just cannot get through IG.
Yeah, I've been. I mean, I can talk about my Grand Arena.
So good.
I can talk about my Grand Arena without giving away any spoilers or secrets, because anyone can just go watch my Grand Arena videos to see what I do. But putting like durable stuff back. Yeah, go watch my videos and see my secrets. But if you put durable teams or teams that are just, I don't know, not necessarily like amazingly hard, but just like grind the opponent out and don't necessarily die very quickly, they can be really good teams to put on the back. But a lot of players I run into put those teams on the front, and it's really easy to deal with them on the front. Because you've got more choice to what you want to use. So like putting I've been putting Bosk with like Django and Boba Fett on the back, and it's like you get to the back and you go, oh, he's got that, and then I'm like, well, yeah, I've also got Ventress with Dakar and Zombie, which is another annoying team. That's like okay, and then there's Team Dick Punch, and then there's some clones under Shaq, and it's like it's like all of those teams heal themselves and do really annoying things like put out ability blocks or stuns or AoEs and just stuff like that, and they're just I don't know, it's kind of like a pain in the ass, and a lot of players just don't like it because they've already spent, you know, like I put Grievous on the front and everyone's gone, oh my god, it's General Grievous, I have to use Jedi Knight Revan. I put my 3 Geos on the front with the Brood Alpha. And it's like, oh my god, Geos are on the front, I have to use my Traya. And then by the time they get to the back, it's like, oh, I wish I had those things. And it's like, well, you don't. You've used them. And I kind of feel that strategy has been quite good in 3v3. But I don't know, if you're saying IG and Quill are pretty good, then I will probably have to pick them up at some point. I know that I want to do... I probably need to do Malak after doing Jedi Master Luke. So I'll have Zalbar and Mission, who will need somewhere to live. I could at least put them with IG and Quill under, like, say, Kira.
Absolutely.
And that might be okay.
Like, I have them at Gear 9 and they're holding. It's great.
What sort of stuff are people playing into them?
Basically the awful stuff they have left after the rest of my defense. But it's basically untouchable for anything below them. They can't get through IG. Like, Phoenix can't do anything. The leftover Night Sisters can't. I have a basic gauntlet type defense of Jedi Knight Revan, First Order. Yeah. Stronger scoundrels at the front.
My defense is just sharp paper, so everything's on offense. But
yeah, would definitely plug IG-11 and Quill.
Fair enough. I'll put them on the list. Anything else you guys want to add on? We're kind of at the end of it.
I'd like to just advertise my Grand Arena defense because I've been getting quite a lot of holds with teams such as Krennic lead Tarkin, and then my Gear 8/9 rebels, and
well,
I just want to point out.
But what relic level is your Tarkin and Krennic?
Tarkin's 3, Krennic's Gear 12, but it's not a good team.
So have you been going with a Tarkin lead
by any stretch? No, Krennic lead, because a lot of the data on that.
So let's just quickly have a go. So
it's questionable, I know.
I'm not actually sure what Krennic lead does because I never see it. So Krennic's lead is Empire allies gain 25% crit chance and 25% potency. Debuffed enemies who are critically hit during an Empire ally's turn suffer ability block for 1 turn. These effects can't be resisted. Empire allies recover 10% protection whenever they score a critical hit.
Hail Krennic.
So that's the
Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie, don't at me.
Alright, okay. If Rogue One's the best Star Wars movie, how come you haven't got really good Rogue One?
Is that garbage?
Okay. Counterpoint. Relic Pow.
That doesn't mean Rogue One.
Oh, right, that right. So you're saying Relic Pow. Fighters. Yeah, Relic Pow, okay. Who is on screen for how long? Is even mentioned...
As long as he needs to be, Raid.
Is mentioned by name how many times?
As many times as he needs to be.
I think we're forgetting one key thing as well. The fact that Uni lost to Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
I did lose to Rogue One.
On voice chat.
Yes, it was very disappointing after the last episode. Moff Gideon is the 3rd in that team. So actually, nice. I can see how that works. But yeah, then my General Kenobi, R2-D2, and Clone Sergeant at Gear 8/9 got a hold as well.
Yeah,
so,
Kenobi is a very respectable leader in 3v3, but he tends to get stolen away for other teams. Pretty much Padme. I've enjoyed using him in previous Grand Arenas when I wasn't, facing walls of bloat. There was things that you could put with him that would be quite good. Like he gets the bonus with healers or something, doesn't he, off his lead? So if you tried any of those,
whenever a full team heal gets done, everyone mass assists.
Oh yeah.
Because you used to run into like him and Barriss quite a lot, and then just like a 3rd character, and it would just be they're just trying to time you out. So it might be R2 as the 3rd, because then obviously he's stunning people and providing stats from his Zeta, and he'll stealth himself and Barriss, and that's quite an annoying little 3v3 team. Andy, have you had any good 3v3 teams pop up?
Punch, a hold, but no. I'm thinking I'm going to have to take my Imperial Troopers off defense on 3v3 because they just seem to get run over.
I wouldn't be surprised just because people can put like the problem with Imperial Troopers is very much like if you put Raid Han in, the troopers lose every time. Or if you don't have certain ones and they put like a character like Nest in, the troopers lose every time. They're much better offense, I've found. Okay, so I think that's about it for us. And we'll come up with a topic for next time. So I guess we'll see you guys later.
See you, bet.
Toodaloo.
Adios.